AOC, who's obviously, she's actually a genuine threat. Because I do believe that she's so good at saying things. She's got the Obama thing, like that
Right.
amount of charisma that actually makes people think, ooh, she's really smart and knows what she's talking about, even though she's dumb as a box of rocks.
Uh-huh.
But she has this way of speaking and this way of influencing people that is terrifying, actually,
Influencing
because
influencing really low faux people,
but
frankly.
people love her, and the fact that they are throwing her name around as a potential presidential
Oh
candidate,
my
I
God.
people should take her seriously because she is scary. She is scary, scary stuff. And here she is reacting to the Daniel Penny exoneration.
He would do it again.
Acquittal, rather.
If necessary, if there was a present threat. What do you make of the comments?
Well, doesn't that, I just feel like that tells us everything. If we do not want violence on our subways, and the point of our justice system is a level of accountability to prevent a person who does not have remorse about taking another person's life. I mean, even people who have engaged in manslaughter or have taken a life accidentally express remorse. And so the fact that a person may express no remorse indicates that there's a risk that it may happen again. And if we do not want to unleash that level of violence, then we should exert a level of accountability to prevent that from happening again.
She has the audacity to talk about accountability. This is the broad that didn't know what a garbage disposal is. Remember?
And then she didn't know that vegetables grow in the ground.
Right. I mean,
she was shook, you guys.
I just remember making fun of her for that. And she represents constituents. Like she is I don't get it. I'll never understand the stupidity of people in this country who are like, oh yeah, I want her to represent me. She's so
awful.
smart. Oh my God. Yeah.
I know.
And the audacity of her to talk about accountability and like the dude was on the subway screaming that he wanted to go to jail for the rest of his life and he was about to F people up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was literally saying out loud, I'm open to killing people and serving my time out in jail.
Yeah. What would she have done if she were on the subway? I'm sorry. She doesn't ride the subway. She's too good for that. What does she have, like personal drivers and cars and stuff that take her places? I assume that we pay for that. This is the thing.
I actually have to say, to give her credit, I don't have the clip because it was too long, but Jessica Tarlov last night on the 5 really said all the right stuff when it came down to the Daniel Penny verdict. She talked about, because she rides the subway twice a day.
Tarlov does?
Yeah, Jessica does. And she talked about the fact that, listen, there are people that are making this a political side issue when it's not. This was the correct jury decision. Daniel Penny is a hero. And she talked about how when she's ridden the subway, she just took her 3-year-old for the very first time on the subway a couple days ago with her newborn. And she said, no one helped me with the stroller. And Dana Perino said, you know who would have? Daniel Penny. And Jessica said, yeah, and he would have carried my newborn too. I mean, she knows.
Yeah,
that's
she
who
totally
you
knows.
want on the subway looking out for you.
Yeah, that's who you want to have your son look at and say, you be like him.
Yes.
Why can we not just admit that out loud? I mean, everybody, if I had I have a grown son and my son is like that. I mean, I'm grateful to God that if Chase were on a subway and he would have done what Daniel Penny did.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Chase is. Thank God he's not like somebody else. You know what I mean? And then I had to ask myself the question, would I have done that?
Yeah.
Would I have done that? I don't know. I hope I'm that good of a person that I would have stood up for other people on that subway. We all should be asking ourselves that question. All of us. Would we have done what Daniel Penny did? You know, I hope to God that I would have stood up for other people on that subway, or I would have at least tried to keep people safe. I hope that we all would be more like him. You know, why would you not want your son to be like him?
And Jessica also said that she knows a lot of people who are aligned with her politically who agree with her about this, that more people, especially those who ride the subway, are really glad that Daniel Penny did what he did, and they're really glad that the jury made the decision that they did, because we should be encouraging that
Absolutely.
kind of heroism.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks that a guy died, but the guy didn't die because Penny had his arms around his neck.
No.
That's not ultimately the reason that he died.
It isn't.
So it's
And
just,
this-
I mean, oh
This
my
is
God.
something that 20 years ago this just wouldn't have been a conversation.
Yeah.
And frankly, if it were two black guys on the subway and it happened with we wouldn't even be talking about it right now. They
Mm.
made it a race thing because this is what race baiters do. This is what grifters do. They make it into a race thing. Daniel Penny wasn't looking at his race. He didn't care that the guy had more melanin in his skin than he did. He was just protecting people on that subway.
He cared that he was a threat. He was a
Right.
threat, period. It did not matter what his skin color was.
Right, because Daniel Penny isn't a racist.
Right. And the fact that they're trying, I mean, there's this lady on CNN that is trying to compare the Luigi guy, the killer of the United Health CEO, with Daniel Penny as two examples of similar vigilantism is freaking insane. And she got set straight by someone else on the panel.
Later in the night, we're also going to talk about Penny and the verdict there. There you also have a victim who somebody determined did not deserve
Oh my God.
to continue living, right?
No.
Yeah, tell me
That's
which vigilante action is okay.
Oh my God.
One is
my
being
God.
proactive, right? So this kid who executed a guy walking away from him, shot him in the back, for no reason whatsoever. Daniel Penny is a hero. You could say anything you want. Talk to people who ride the subway every day. Because I do all the time. the time.
So let me
I can't find anyone who rides the subway who's unhappy about this verdict.
Well,
This is unhinged. They are
crazy.
unfreaking hinged. One was an execution.
Right.
The other was self-defense of other people. If you can't see that, please seek help. What the hell is wrong with these people?
Hey, if you want to treat yourself for Christmas, or if you want to treat someone really important to you for Christmas and you want to do something really luxurious, could we suggest some bedding from cozyearth.com/chicks? I brought a pillowcase to demonstrate, to see
Ooh, look at
softness
you.
would show up on camera. This
It's-
is a pillowcase for my sheet set. I've washed this set 87 scabillion times. And the most amazing thing about Cozy Earth bedding is that no matter how much you wash it, it never, ever, ever pills. And somehow it gets softer with every wash.
Yeah.
Like,
It's extraordinary. Their stuff is extraordinary.
and then it's temperature regulating on top of that, which is amazing. It's just one of these high-end luxury gifts that you really want to either get for yourself or someone like super important to you. And it's a good time to do it because right now, when you use code CHICKS at cozyearth.com/chicks, you can get up to 40% off site-wide. If you order by Friday, this Friday, December 13th, you're going to get free shipping, or December 20th for expedited shipping. So order immediately. And remember, they have a 100-night sleep guarantee. So if for some reason you try this bedding out and you don't love it, you get your money back, no questions asked. That is how much.
After
they believe in
100
their stuff.
nights. Like, what is wrong with you?
I mean,
You should be able to figure that out. Right.
You absolutely should. It's cozyearth.com/chicks. Use code Anyway, I know we've played this guy before, this TikToker who's talking about that. He's a black man talking about how this is not a race issue, and anybody trying to make it such is a racist.
Issue. There was more than one race of people helping to restrain him. The reason this happened is because a man came on the subway, was acting menacing, loud, and threatening to the people on the subway to the point where some of them felt they needed to take matters into their own hands to protect themselves and the people around them. The man that was acting threatening happened to be this color. The main individual restraining him happened to be this color. But that doesn't mean this is about race. And us making this about race does nothing but cause division. They didn't get up and choke us. We weren't on the train threatening and scaring people. They did that to him because he was acting a certain way. And there's no reason for me to get offended on that simply because I had the same skin color as that guy. This is what I'm saying. We have this unrelenting loyalty to being black, and we root everything in our skin color. So many of us. And it's not a beneficial mindset. It really makes you look dumb in many cases because logic and reason go out the window when you have this unrelenting loyalty to being black.
God, I love him.
And his voice.
I
Are you
know.
kidding
He's
me?
delicious. And I think he's right about that. We talk about that with people that are gay too. It's like your whole identity shouldn't be wrapped up in your gayness. Your
Right.
whole identity shouldn't be wrapped up in your blackness. Just like my whole identity is definitely not wrapped up in my whiteness. I don't,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Or your straightness.
right. It's like, so this is, they get really caught up in that. And that's just, how about we're all just people
Mhm.
and we should just watch out for each other. And that's exactly what Daniel Penny was doing. He was watching out for people on that train.
That's exactly right. And that's one of the things that he talked about with Judge Janine, why he would do absolutely everything that he did. He would do it 100 times over. Here is Daniel Penny.
Not a confrontational person. I don't really extend myself. I think this type of thing is very uncomfortable. All this attention and limelight is very uncomfortable. And I would prefer without it. I didn't want any type of attention or praise, and I still don't. The guilt I would have felt if someone did get hurt, if he did do what he was threatening to do, would never be able to live with myself. And I'll take 1 million court appearances and people calling me names and people hating me just to keep one of those people from getting hurt or killed.
He's an exemplary human being.
He is. He's a better person than I even thought he was. You know what I mean? Like just hearing that is amazing. He also talked about he didn't name anybody, but he talked about the liberal politicians who have made this, New York City in particular, so bad and for reasons obviously that are political. And he is not a political person. He doesn't want to be political, which he says in this clip.
Public officials would do something so self-serving.
But how does it serve them to hurt you?
Just political gain. I mean, these are their policies that are, and I don't mean to get political. I don't really want to make any enemies, really, although I guess I have already. But I mean, these are their policies that have clearly not worked, that the people, the general population, are not in support of, yet their egos are too big just to admit that they're wrong.
Yep.
I hope his parents are so proud of him, because I would be. Good Lord.
He has a very long neck.
He does very tall. I would be beyond proud.
Oh
of
my
the man
gosh,
that
right?
he is. Like I said, an exemplary human being he is.